Hello, everybody, and welcome to another backdoor or backyard, I should say, session check-in. It is week 10, believe it or not. I feel like the semester is going fast and slow all at the same time, but for no reasons really related to this course, more so just global reasons and reasons out of our control in this current environment we live in. Which brings me, which is a great segue into this week's topic. Also, please don't mind any sirens or dog barks or whatever you may hear in the background. It's a busy night with fireworks still, even on a Sunday, and lots happening in the city that I live in. So anyways, as I said, week 10, its focus is on external things happening in the external environment that definitely impact us internally and organizationally. A lot of students at first have a difficult time kind of understanding that language, but ultimately breaks down to mean that there are many things that impact us as professionals or organizationally, caused by external changes or external policy. A great example is the pandemic we're in right now. Obviously, it's a no-brainer that it's affecting a lot of what we do day to day, but at the same time, being future-minded and forward-thinking of how this will impact us years down the road. And as much unpredictability as all this brings to the table, we still have to be very thoughtful and forward thinking with how we are going to be dynamic and flexible with whatever future whatever future happenings can bring us. And that's why we always need to be forecasting. We always need to have a pulse on what's going on around us. We need to always try to be transformative. We need to make sure that we have stakeholder interests at the core of everything that we do. We'll talk about stakeholders a little bit more formally in 2 weeks, because next week we have a break in content and what we're doing, and then we do our stakeholder paper. But I'm sure many of you are familiar with the term and understand at least the fundamentals of what that means. So it's easy to get off on a tangent with this information. This is also my third attempt at recording this, so I've had my really great aha moments already. But I think, again, every week we've had has been very timely with the current environment and world in which we're operating in. And not too long ago, organizations and professions could determine what they were doing internally that would drive the marketplace or drive clinical practice or be the reason change happens. And we're almost flip-flopped now. We are changing how we practice clinically. We are changing how we develop policy because of things happening outside of our control. It's very easy to be overwhelmed and feel like it's a daunting task to always be on the defense. And instead of thinking that way, think more innovatively. Put yourself in a leadership mindset that says that I am forecasting what could happen, and I am removing barriers to possible change. I am removing barriers that could impact my practice negatively, that could impact morale with my followers negatively. We don't even get into the topic of morale and leadership, but it's a good one. So that thought just popped into my head, which is why I stopped for a moment. But all in all, this week's focus is really just about understanding, appreciating, and leading into the complexity this world is, and how even though some things might not directly impact us, there are definitely secondary and tertiary impacts that markets do to our clinical practice and to healthcare in general. I know you all know that I'm not a speech language pathologist, but I know that we can definitely share the feeling of nervousness from future healthcare professions going into our field because of what's happening now, and 10 years from now, how that impacts the number of clinicians that exist and can provide services because of something we're experiencing in present day. So that's kind of the focus of the external environments. The other thing I wanted to remind you of is escaping me right now, other than in 2 weeks we have kind of a break in the discussion, and then we come back to our stakeholder assignment, and then believe it or not, it is our synthesis presentation and the end of the semester before our wrap up. So like I said in the beginning, it's going fast and slow all at the same time, but I've really enjoyed every discussion and dialogue that's taken place thus far. It's clear that you're all very engaged and very aware of how you are practicing, or how you were practicing to how you are practicing now because of this content, and much of your ideas have been very reflective, and that's a very great thing to see from my seat, and you should be really proud of yourselves that you're able to be that reflective in your practice. So keep up the great work. Let's finish the next 3 weeks really steadfast, and be able to kind of organize, prioritize, and stay in this zone of getting it done, and have the momentum, kind of capitalize on that momentum moving forward into the next 3 weeks. We're almost there. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. And I look forward to this week's Peer to Instructor week, where I get to Melody and I together get to take a little bit more intimate seat with you all as we discuss external environmental factors on our organizational efficiency and progress and success.